Recording. Hi everyone, I'm Shasha. Is everyone having fun today? Yes. How about yesterday? It was really tiring, right? Well, we've heard so many amazing stories today and yesterday, from gaining confidence to the creative industry, toxic positivity, and many more. Well, I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but my topic today is going to be a bit more serious. As an aspiring human rights advocate, I feel obligated to use this opportunity to inform all of you here today about a thing or two. Does everyone know what privilege is? Yes, can you guys name a few? Yeah, white privilege, Malay privilege, even being in this air-conditioned room is a privilege, right? Agreed? So when you drown yourself in privilege you fail to realize you have, you quickly forget what it feels like to work day and night for the bare minimum. The bare minimum that more than 400 million people living in poverty are dreaming, yearning, and hoping for. World poverty has been a constant issue, and the COVID-19 pandemic is making this issue much more significant. As I did my research today, I took a step back and realized that perhaps we have not made enough effort to reach the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 2035, otherwise known as the UNSDG 2035. Perhaps we are so engaged in our comfortable little life in Brunei that we forget bigger problems exist outside of our little bubble. Today, I'll be talking about the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and how we, as global citizens, have failed to make progress to reach these goals. UNSDG goal number 1, end poverty on all its forms everywhere. According to statistics cited from the UNSDG report 2019, 738 million, I repeat, 738 million people lived in extreme poverty in 2015, with more than 413 million of these people coming from the sub-Saharan Africa alone. And numbers continue to soar due to people losing their jobs following the current COVID virus pandemic. Why am I emphasizing on these outrageous numbers, you may ask, right? It's simple. Being in poverty means you lack access to a nutritious meal every day. It means you lack access to basic fundamental education, literacy, to the ability to write and read. It means somewhere out there, a 7-year-old child is working day and night for a $2 salary just to put a roof above their heads. And most importantly, poverty indicates how we have failed as a world. Because when you do not eradicate poverty, the other development goals we aim to achieve, including education, healthcare, and reducing inequality, will never be achieved. Well, it's true that charity funds, donations, and even basic universal income are provided in some country. A substantial percentage of the world is still failing to make ends meet. Next, the 5th UN SDG, gender equality. Asia's largest economies have fallen in the World Economic Forum's latest gender equality ranking. And although Asia is continuing to advance, the continent is still playing catch up in providing equal opportunities between the sexes. Despite the fact that women make up around half of the graduates in countries all around the world, I mean, just look in this room, there's a lot more women than men, right? There are only 30 women per 100 men on average in leadership positions. And in Brunei, there are only 3 women and 17 men in our legislative council, the people making decisions for me and for all of you. A stark contrast between the sexes, right? And let's not forget how the social stigma that men need to be tough, or men can't cry, or men need to be the sole provider for families, and how women belongs in the kitchen, or how women are inferior than men, have contributed greatly to depression and suicide rates. These ideologies are so harmful to us, and yet society, not just here in Brunei, but all over the globe, are still abiding and passing these toxic mindsets around. And let's not forget the imminent crisis of healthcare spending in the world. Although countries like Brunei and the United Kingdom are spending a significant amount of their national income on healthcare. There are countries like America that charge their citizens thousands and thousands of dollars for an ambulance lift to the hospital. Oh, and the people living in poverty I mentioned at the beginning of my speech, they can only dream to have healthcare services provided. Nigeria is a good example for this. Have you heard of NSARS?
Yes.
Yes? Well, not the SARS virus, but the Special Armed Robbery Forces in Nigeria. These armed forces, or SARS, are targeting the innocent LGBTQ minority and even targeting random youths based on their fashion and hairstyles. How crazy is that? And while Nigerians protested to end the SARS movement, they discovered multiple warehouses full of undistributed COVID-19 supplies for their citizens. Now, the Nigerian government continued to deny their citizens of a peaceful life, ending their poverty, and denying their rights to basic health care. It pains my heart that while I leisurely scroll down my way down the streets of the nation, while I carelessly spend the money that the government and my parents have given me, while I am being fed deliciously, another teenager like me, a 17-year-old, is sacrificing their rightful opportunities just to feed their whole family. Remember, the UN SDG aims for nations all around the world to progress and meet these goals, right? It aims to create equal opportunities for everyone. It aims to provide basic human rights. But if only some countries are progressing and while others are regressing, are we really making any change at all? Now, I'm here not to remind all of you of our failures as a global citizen, but to encourage you to become a better citizen and contribute back to society. It need not be financially. Even advocating and educating people like I am today is considered an effort, and I'm standing here today to inspire you future millionaires, future businessmen, and future businesswomen to help when you can. Remember that in 15 years' time, 2035, our lifestyles are to be bettered and sustained through the UN SDG. And if we work together, I have no doubt that we will move in that direction. After all, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. Thank you.